when he gets back to Storybook, he has no idea who these people are. He's never met them in his life. According to him, went to school, had a normal life in New York.
Okay, and then of course Hook's going to show up and ruin everything. Is Henry aware of Hook at this point? Like,
no.
Has he even met the guy?
I think he's met them. He just has no idea who he is. Some weird guy wearing a full leather suit and has a glove on one hand and doesn't move it.
When you heard that these episodes were going to be a little more Wizard of Oz centric with the flying monkeys,
yeah.
Like that, how did you feel about it? I'm sure you've seen the movie.
I actually have not seen The Wizard of Oz. I've only seen up to the part with the Munchkins.
Okay.
Don't know why, I just have never gotten through the entire movie. But I was actually pretty excited to see what they were going to do with Oz.
Hello YouTube, it is Gilmore. First of all, I would like to say I'm sorry I have not posted in 2 years. I would also like to say thank you to the subscribers that, well, haven't unsubscribed in those 2 years. But the good news is that after this video, I will be starting a new channel, and I will have a link in the description for that, so just check that out. And I will be hopefully posting videos weekly on that of me doing random stuff. So that's about it. See you there. Good luck.
I think it'll be really interesting to see Henry age and mature throughout this season, and also he did start maturing last season, but this season he can really grow up.
Yeah. Any chance of getting him a love interest, you think? Get some like Goldilocks in there, maybe some age-appropriate teen
I
romance?
don't know.
No?
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe?
It would be interesting to see Henry have a relationship like that.
You know, maybe more interesting to see him try to have a relationship with a girl that isn't like from a fairy. Like, how do you explain that to an outsider?
Yeah.
You're like, no. So my mom is my grandma, and my brother is my uncle. Yeah. You got to play Peter Pan for part of this season.
Yeah.
Do you think Henry will take anything back from that, from having to be a little bit more double-faced, like two-faced?
I don't think so, because I don't think Henry remembers that being outside of his own body. I mean, he does remember it, but I don't think Henry did any of this evil things. But it was such a great experience playing Pan for those couple of episodes.
Yeah. No, you got to smarm it up a bit.
Yeah.
Be a little bit tricky.
Yeah.
For breaking entertainment news and more, follow @HitFix on Twitter or visit hitfix.com.
So Henry's been through so much all of these seasons. What's been one of the most fun things for you to play?
One of the most fun things for me to play, Peter Pan.
Yeah.
It was great to play Peter Pan for those 2 episodes. It's such a big change because Henry's such a good guy, and getting to play a bad guy was so fun and interesting.
And then also for this season, you finally have your memory back.
Yeah.
Is that going to have an effect on you and Emma?
I don't think so. I think Henry, now that he has his memories back, is happy to be back in Storybrooke with his family. So I think he's going to have an amazing time this season, and I'm going to have an amazing time filming this season because it's going to be a good season.
We got Frozen coming in there, and you're in episode 2. What have you kind of seen that you can tease to us?
You know, other than the fact that Frozen is coming, it was also revealed today that Anna will be on the show, and that'll be really fun to see Anna and Elsa coming on the show. I can't wait.
Yes, Sven, the reindeer as well.
I'm not sure, really.
I just figured that would be kind of an interesting thing to have.
It would be an interesting thing to cast a reindeer.
Yeah. So cool. Well, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of Comic-Con.
So we're here at Knott's Berry Farm. Are you a big theme park person?
I'm a pretty big theme park person. I pretty recently got really big into roller coasters, so I'm excited to try out some.
Best one you've ever been on?
Best one I've ever been on. Well, I've really only been on California Screaming at California Adventure. So it's probably the best one, but I can't wait to try some of the new ones here. New experience.
If you could add your dream attraction to this park, what would it be?
Dream attraction. Sky's the limit. Anything. Oh man, this is a tricky one. Probably just a super awesome roller coaster. I don't know what to do.
Like upside downs or speed, or what are you going
Just
for?
probably just not upside down, just kind of a mixture of everything. Just an awesome all-around long roller coaster.
And we gotta get down to business. We have to talk about this Once Upon a Time finale. Were you shocked kind of when you read what was gonna happen at the end of it?
I was pretty interested. I mean, when I was reading, I was like, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen next?
She's darkness.
It's crazy, and I have no idea what's gonna happen next.
I haven't told you any little hints.
And nothing. So I'm like on the tip of my toes, waiting to see what's gonna happen.
Wait, just like us.
Yeah, exactly.
So now that Henry is the author, though, what would you like to see him do with those responsibilities?
I think in the last couple of seasons, Henry's just been, the kid that's there with everyone else. But I think now it's Henry's time to be the hero like the rest of his family, and I think it would be cool for him to kind of be the hero.
Is there any character that hasn't been on the show that you would love to see worked in somehow?
Okay, it's to the point where I think we've done a lot of characters, and like pretty much all of them, and I'm always talking about this with other people, like, what characters haven't we used?
What would be your one wish for next season of Once Upon a Time?
Wish for the next season of Once Upon a Time? Probably Henry being an epic sword fight.
He's got a good teacher. You got Prince Charming and Snow White.
Exactly, yeah. Mm-hmm.
When I first read the script, just playing a villain is like the coolest thing ever, so I was automatically like...
Okay, so I just have to sing?
The theme song, any part you want.
Okay.
All right, well, he is here. He is taking over Radio Disney. Let's welcome Jared Gilmore to take over the station. Welcome in, man. How you doing?
Good.
Good. All right, now, Jared stars in the show on ABC, Once Upon a Time. You play actually one of my favorite characters, one of the smartest characters, I think, on the show, Henry. Now, let's give a little background on Henry real quick.
Well, Henry is the one who figures out that everyone in the town of Storybrooke is a fairy tale character.
Mm-hmm. What you working on?
They're stories from a book that I lost.
What are you looking for?
My book!
How did you bury it here?
So my mom doesn't find it. It's still here. Good.
The show Once Upon a Time, it's basically... I tried to explain it to somebody, and it's really hard to explain.
It's a very hard show to explain because there's you go between the fairy tale world and the real world.
Yeah,
so it's hard to explain in a way.
So I explained it as, well, think of all the fairy tales that you can think of with Rumpelstiltskin and Snow White and Geppetto and Jiminy Cricket. They're all in the real world, like as people.
Yeah, what I would think about what I say about the show, it's basically fairy tales and our world colliding.
Like
going,
wow. How is it having literally the evil queen as your I guess mother?
Let my wrath be unleashed.
It's funny because when we're on set, she always has to be so, when we're shooting, she always has to be so mean to me, and then when we get off set, she's so nice. She's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I have to be mean to her," and she hugs me. So it's sort of funny.
All right, well, Jared, thank you so much, man, for coming in. I feel we should play some video games.
So, how's your guys' day, man?
How are you, Jared? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. First Comic-Con, so it's fun. And also hometown, so that's great. San Diego, yeah. I've lived in Mesa my entire life, so that's only 5 minutes away, 15 minutes max.
So as far as Henry and his storyline this year, we heard at the panel that he's going to have more of a relationship with Rumple now that his father has passed away. How is that going to play out? Like, is there anything you can tell us about that so far?
Really, I don't know. I mean, as I said, well, as an answer, I didn't say it, but we just started filming the show, so I haven't got to read many of the scripts at all. So every week, or every couple of weeks, I should say, when the script comes out and I read it, I'm blown away to see how all these characters are developing and what's happening for Henry and all these other characters.
Is there going to be any interaction between Henry and Elsa and Anna?
I think it'll be interesting to see if Henry gets any interaction with the Frozen people. I think it'll be really cool if he does, because I love Frozen. I've seen the movie a lot. I have a twin sister, so
that's it. So how does that feel for you? I mean, you've obviously seen the movie 100,000 times in your house and let it go over and over and all of that. Is it great to have that
I think
part of the show?
It's amazing. It's awesome for me to have something I'm so familiar with him on the show, and I love the movie. I saw it, as you know, a lot. So, and I think it's an honor that Disney let us do this thing with Frozen, and it really just came out. So. Wait. We did have a little bit from Aladdin in a Wonderland, but not a lot in the actual show. I just thought of that. So I think it would be really interesting to see some stuff from Aladdin.
Henry's story was really intense this last season.
Yeah.
Neverland, a lot of conflict. How did you deal with how did you tap into the feelings of being torn between the family that you weren't sure were coming and then the Oscars that were definitely there?
I think it was an amazing experience for me. I learned so much last season while filming. Henry learned so much last season. First time that he didn't rely on Emma or his family, so he really had to fend for himself. So I think that's really cool.
And then can we expect to see him reconnect with Regina since he's been so long away from her and not having any memory of her?
I think that possibly, I don't know, but I think I seriously I don't know, but I think that it would be really cool to have more interaction with I love working with her, so it'll be really interesting to see these two characters.
Don't you have to explain? Okay, because she has a lot to remember. I'm just saying, don't you think? Sorry, I'm being a mother. Okay, explain. Okay, you can tell me. With my voice thing, I think it was just random. I think they didn't plan it at all. They might have, but they never told me about it. And if I could play an evil character, who would I play? I would probably play a male villain. Okay, fine. Not that way. You know, it's just not Dracula because I have to destroy him. Tick-tock. Translate what I think. Let her translate, and then you think about it, and by the time she's done, you'll have your answer. Donc je vais traduire la question d'abord, il va avoir le temps de réfléchir à la réponse. Donc pour la question, c'est
c'était de savoir quel est le méchant que vous aimeriez jouer. Et la deuxième question était de savoir à quoi était dû le changement de voix du personnage entre les deux parties de la troisième saison. Est-ce que c'était quelque chose de prévu ou pas? Donc non, hein, c'était absolument pas prévu, c'est totalement aléatoire. En tout cas, s'il y avait quelque chose de prévu, on m'a pas pu au courant.
Do not influence him. What? Wait, no, okay, sorry. No, you have a good one. I have the best one. But I'll be Voldemort from Harry Potter.
Hi, it's a question for Lana.
Yes, that would actually be really cool. Henry is getting older, and I'm also getting older, so I can play Henry getting older. And who could it be? I gotta think. They already have like every fairy tale. Who? I can't. Okay, one at a time, everybody.
Jefferson's daughter.
Grace.
Jefferson's daughter. Matt Hatter's daughter.
You know, I was thinking Wendy, but with her hair combed. Because her hair was all ratted. Wendy was cute.
She's technically she's kind of old because.
Grace.
I agree with you guys.
Oui, j'aimerais bien que effectivement Henry tourne.
Excited to be here at Table 4.
Thank you. We're excited to have you.
It's great. First Comic-Con I've ever been to. And it's in San Diego, my hometown. So that's always fun, getting to come home for a couple of days to have fun at Comic-Con.
So how can you preview about the new season?
Well, other than the fact that Frozen's coming, and we'll all be pretty cold, I really don't know that much. When I read the scripts, I'm so surprised every time because I get to read all the new stuff that's happening. So it's just, whoa, I can't believe that's happening. Like when I saw that Frozen was coming on at the end of last season, I was blown away.
So you have an interesting position on the show in that you are like the common sense voice of reason for a lot of these things, but you lost that a little bit this year. So when you're coming into this season, usually you know more about the fairy tale characters than they do. Is this a position that you'll be in with the Frozen characters, or are they an unknown quantity?
I mean, I think either Henry actually saw the movie while he was in New York, or they were also in the story, or they could be completely new people that Henry hasn't read about or seen, and it would be completely new to him.
This kind of leads to a question I've always had. Does the movie exist in the Once Upon a Time movie?
I think in the real world it does. I think because Emma knew who all these characters were before she came to Storybook, so obviously she had read the books or at least seen the movies. So I think, yeah, in the real world they do exist, but not in Storybook.
So last season we had kind of a greater arc, but two separate functioning seasons almost in one.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah, and so we're repeating that this year. So do you appreciate that kind of quick action and so many changes in one thing versus a whole like 22 episode?
Yeah, I really like how we're doing the whole 11 episode kind of mini season thing. I thought Pan and Neverland was awesome in the beginning of last season, and so was Wizard of Oz at the end of last season. So I'm so excited to see what Eddie and Adam have planned for the rest of the season.
Both you and Henry have been growing up. How is that?
I think Henry's matured and he's grown up a lot over the seasons. Of course, last season he was alone, he didn't have his family, and he had to fend for himself. So now it will be interesting when he's back with his family, but he's learned to fend
happy, so hi everybody, what can I do to help?
What's that?
I'm not sure you're ready.
Ready for some fairy tales?
They're not fairy tales. They're true. Every story in this book actually happened.
Of course they did.
Hey guys, I'm Jake Wetter. This is ABC's Cast Commentary. There's a show coming to ABC this fall, Once Upon a Time, and I have Jared Gilmore and Raphael Sabarge hanging out with us today. Guys, it's Once Upon a Time. It's obviously about fairy tales, but it's a drama. So can you tell us about the show?
Gee whiz. The easiest way that I've been able to sort of explain it to people is to sort of say that it's sort of a combination of Harry Potter meets Princess Bride. What do you want to say about it?
Personally, the way I describe it is, it's basically fairy tales colliding with the real world. So it's sort of an interesting combination.
Well, you get to play out your childhood imagination on TV. It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it is pretty cool being able to do something that you're really into. Like when I'm really into the sword fighting and fairy tale stuff, fantasy and that kind of stuff, so it's quite fun being on a show that you really can have fun and relate to.
All right, well, we're going to watch one of the scenes that you guys were both in from Once Upon a Time. Here's an exclusive sneak peek. Did you actually get to ride in the car?
Just a little bit, but yes.
So we shot this in Vancouver, and we shot it in March. Now, Vancouver is really an incredibly beautiful city. However, it rains about 329 days a year. And this was no exception. It was also freezing rain. And it was about 1 a.m. by the time we got to this section. And you can't see it. I mean, the amazing thing is you can't see it, but it's pelting, freezing rain. They then put a little tarp over us. Then what they did, this dog, I speak about it because he and I became bonded, happens to be the agility champion of Canada. I mean, it's not just any, this is the, now, I didn't know this, but because some friend of mine told me, to be an agility champion, you actually, what they do is they send them through these courses, but they put packs with like bricks and rocks on them. So this dog is so freaking strong. It kept knocking me over. It was like, whoa! And then they had these two enormous ritters, which essentially are like fans or sort of airplane engine-y kind of things, and they were using it to blow leaves, so it was so loud.
You would never be able to tell.
And you know, you watch it and you go, God, look, so, you know, hey, there's a couple of people on the street. And we were fighting the elements, and it was late, and we were tired, and we were freezing, we were shivering cold. They would rush in with blankets and warmers and hand warmers and feet warmers and
yeah, you don't look like you're cold in that at all, Jared. How did you?
Well, and at that time I was wearing like 4 layers. I was wearing a long sleeve shirt and then a cardigan, I think, and then
the silk underwear too.
Then I was piled in clothes, and I was actually at one point I was extremely cold. Yet at one point I got really hot because I was wearing so much clothes.
Do you believe in fairy tales?
Yes.
You do?
Sorta, yes.
Sorta?
Yeah.
What's your favorite fairy tale?
I like all the fairy tales, but that's hard to say. They're all good.
Well, you're gonna get to live them all out in the show.
Yeah, that's the cool part.
So you're smart. You know your stories.
And he will save the world.
And you will save the world. And you get to have fun on set. You have like the coolest job ever, man. Nice. Jared Gilmore and Raphael Sabarge for Once Upon a Time. Guys, thank you so much for coming in. Nice to meet you. Looking forward to seeing what happens.
Thanks.